Morning Playing Club. Um, another episode of ATV. I was thinking about some of our situation. And basically, the more I think, it all stems back to that fucking lap dancing club, everything. I think that a lot of this and the difficulties I had with Jess were tough, but I've got to think that there's more to this, and I know I do have a tendency to overthink. However, it makes a lot of sense purely because the way my dad was, he was in there a lot, and I think he used to claim it was like business or whatever. He used to take guys out, and I never went, and I never would. I think it's quite seedy and dumb. Like, the guys that sit there, they do you really think those girls are interested in you in the slightest? It's dumb. It's another exploitation. But anyway, my dad was in that Pussycat Club a fair bit, and knowing how he was and is, he would give it the large, and I bet that pissed fucking Mr. McGrath off like you wouldn't believe. Because there's only one big baller in the town, and I think both of them wanted to be the Peter Stringfellow. And I'm not the only one that can see this, but that sort of individual is it's a bit like, it's not a nice person. They're sleeping with multiple young ladies much younger than them, and they look a bit fucked up. Yeah, I just don't think that it's a good look. And to me, I don't know, I think the family ideology, I think it's the blueprint to me, and I see anything else, and I think that's a bit odd. As I say, like, a 60-year-old with like, I don't know, an 18-year-old, that's fucked up. But anyway, I can imagine they fell out, and McGrath's being the way they are, I can imagine my dad would have said, yeah, my name's such and such, I run Brighton or whatever, like, really egotistically, which wasn't the case anyway, but I can imagine how that conversation went, and that would have pissed him off. And I can then imagine McGrath, being the career criminal that he is, would have been like, right, well, I'm going to find out about this little fucker, and it's not hard with social media. He would have found out, obviously, he had a son, me, and gone down Facebook and found out more and more and more. And obviously, if he found out I was with Jess and used the circles that he knows, he would have got to her. I can imagine that was a thing. Because as I say, like, if you know what these guys are like, they plot and they scheme and they plan. And being a lap dancing club owner, who history shows the exploitation, so I can imagine that yacht incident wasn't the first time something like that happened, and the fact that the nightclub was employing like 18-year-old girls, and I think from what Jess said, that the process, the interview, if you could call it that, was Chris or his dad sat there taking a lap dance off an 18-year-old girl. I mean, that's a bit fucked up. And then encourage them to then do it to other guys for money so they could benefit. But it's that mindset, and I'm surprised no one else would question that. As I say, Jess being the way she was, I can imagine she was quite exploitable by that. Because it wouldn't be hard to flash a bit of money and then kind of get them on board like that. So I can imagine that would have happened, you know. And that coupled with his police involvement. So I know for a fact if you're in Brighton long enough and you've got lots of money and all these other things, there are lots of things that you could use to exploit people in the police. And bearing in mind that the station's like a stone's throw away, yeah, you could imagine it would be so easy. It's like the cartel models, but over here. And if you kept that under the radar, it would go undetected. And I think that's how they've got away with it for so long. It sounds a lot like conspiracy and stuff, and to some degree you think, well, but then you start digging deeper and you realise, and you look at Saltire Investments and the money that's there, and the fact that you could very easily launder cash through a cash business like a lap dancing club, and you look at the circles that they move in, alarm bells ring massively, and then my treatment on top. Yeah, another thing, that coffee incident the other day, I'm sure I recognised that police, well, I assume he was a police officer. I'm sure I recognise him. I want to say, like, but they don't let him in the operating theatre, or maybe they did in that case. I don't know. Again, maybe that's a bit cryptic. He'll know. Yeah, it's a bit fucked up. Anyway, I thought I would mention that because then it gives you a bit more picture, and hopefully, right, when you string it all together and look at it objectively, you start to think, hang on, because it has been 3 months and I've been sat out here. My arm fucking hurts, like seriously hurts. I reckon I probably will lose my hand, because medical attention's being stopped. They like every time I go, it's made so difficult to get anyone to take me seriously. It's fucked, like seriously. Oh yeah, and the other thing, lots of weird stuff in the co-op as well. So some of the staff are quite, how do I put this without being super offensive? I won't say. They're hard work. So every time I walk around, there's this one girl, and she's like literally pushing things into me. So as I'll come around the corner, she'll like ram the trolley or whatever she's got. Like it was a big stack of bread the other day. Yeah, it'd just be super passive aggressive. Like it's so fucking bizarre. Yeah, and I'm sure that the staff have been moving stuff around so I can't reach it, knowing I've got a bad arm. Because all the water that I was getting is now started appearing on the very top shelf where I can't reach it. So think like odd shit like that, and you think, well, but it keeps happening. Like lots of weird things, and especially in that shop, and there does tend to be a few of them that seem to be like almost trying to walk into my bad arm, and it is the staff, I'm telling you, or people moonlighting to pretend to be the staff. Either way, it's really odd. Yeah, because it happens almost every time I'm in there, and it's not subtle. It seems to be like a real attempt to make me anxious. Again, maybe I should have full 24/7 ATV. You can see for yourself then. Oh, interesting. I don't know if you saw the video last night of the lady that was by my car. So I was just sat here doing one of these, I think, and there was just a lady. So I don't know how long she was even there. It must have been a minute or two. And she just kept asking me what I want, and she wouldn't go away. She just stood there. Anyway, this is 9 minutes. I'll best make this quick. I've got to go, people.